Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dot Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21, continuing on with our Moto2 World Championship career mode, and it's time for round 15 here in Misano. So as mentioned already, we're here in Moto2 on board the Calyx, the Petronas SRT Calyx to be precise, and we're going to be using Matt Grant, of course, me basically, in this particular career mode. Now, I absolutely love Misano. I tend to start a lot of videos saying I absolutely love the particular track, and I really do love Misano. It's an amazing track with so much different styles of corners, fast corners, short corners, and slow corners, and just, it's a great track. I really love it, and I hope it's going to come out in this video today of how much I adore this track, because of course we're going to absolutely nail it here today. Last time we played it here in Misano, we were using Moto3 in the Moto3 Championship and the career mode that we did with Matt Grant, and we absolutely dominated from start to finish. I very much expect a similar story here today. These Moto2 machines, when you can start chucking in the fast lap times, are very, very unbeatable. I kind of imagine the same thing happening today, and after Aragon's heroic performance from starting 23rd and finishing, spoiler alert, finishing 3rd was amazing, and we are now riding the momentum. The incredible finish in Silverstone to the awesome comeback in Aragon. You have to believe that momentum is definitely on the side of Matt Grant right now, opposed to Remy Gardner's side of the camp. Now, Andy Yates reckons that Sam Lowes is a bit of a dark horse for this championship. Personally for me, I still don't think Lincolnshire beats Warrington. Therefore, I think Grant is still going to be knocking on the door of the championship this season and potentially taking away that crown. Now, of course, as mentioned, or at least not mentioned yet, or I think I have mentioned it in previous in Aragon, we haven't yet secured a contract going up into MotoGP just yet. So I'm still going to be gauging where our options are going to be. I understand that we might be able to survive to the end of the season and get a different contract. I'm not too sure, still not 100%, but that will be the goal, just try and secure the best possible contract we can in MotoGP and move up. But already you've just seen us absolutely decimate the lap there, a 1:38.265 for Grant on board this Petronas SRT Calyx, and now once again in fast rhythm mode. Going on to the left hand side for Quercia, right behind Lorenzo Dalla Porta, of course, former Moto3 World Champion, followed by the current Moto3 World Champion Matt Grant as we get onto the right hand side for turn 9. Nice smooth entry into Tramonto for turn 10. We'll be bringing on the power, try and get into the behind of Lorenzo Dalla Porta, use a bit of his speed for the Italtrans ride, and hopefully we can improve this lap time to a potential 1:37. Onto the right hand side for Cavone, probably one of the best tracks in the MotoGP calendar, or at least one of the best corners, from one of the best tracks. Onto the right hand side once again for turn 13. Ran it a little bit wide and we just invalidate the lap right there just before we got into Caro, but it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day we've already set the lap time that I think is going to be enough to be in free practice or qualifying 2. So right now, we're just going to be literally going for it to see if we can improve once again. But going into Misano, went a little bit wide there, still utilising power setting 3. And anti-wheelie and engine brake is actually both on full. I actually didn't even change that, I totally forgot. Usually I tend to drop it down to 4 and 4, or maybe 4 and 5, or potentially even 3 and 5. But to leave them full, I've not done that in quite a while. But going into Variante del Parco for turn 3, we are up by 1/10 of a second, getting onto the rear of the Italtrans rider. Going into Rio, the same name as one of my cats, so shout out to the cat. Onto the right hand side for turn 5, flick it to the left hand side now for turn 6, right onto the rear Lorenzo Dalla Porta. We are up by 0.2 of a second. So Joe Roberts, the American, has just put himself up into second place. He's only 0.4 of a second behind Grant as things stand, but of course in one lap that is pretty impressive for Grant to be already 0.4 of a second ahead of the competition. Of course, I haven't seen there's Raul Fernandez right on cue. I haven't seen Gardner or Lowes in this session so far, and since Raul Fernandez now got up into second place, he is only 2.5 of a second behind. You better believe Gardner, Lowes, potentially a couple of other riders like Augusto Fernandez are going to start chucking in those fast lap times to get in behind Grant and to get into themselves into qualifying 2. Now we did briefly get up there by 0.5 a second going into the second split rather. We were up by a lot there. And if we can continue that pace, we are going to just secure every single top position in this particular video here today. I'm really liking this track. The Calyx feels fantastic around here. And of course, Marco Bezzecchi, one of the homeboys, he's in 3rd place as he just moved himself up into the order. Keep an eye on Bo Benschneider as well. He always tends to do well in the qualifying sessions. He's always there or thereabout. But across the line we go. That is a 137, and we are already into qualifying 2. So let's take a look at the qualifying standings so far. Grant at the top with a 137.792. Remy Gardner, Marco Bezzecchi, Raul Fernandez all trail by above 0.7 of a second. Absolutely huge. So now a look at the riders who will be joining the rest of them into qualifying 2. Bobier, Navarro, Vierge and Dixon, so both teammates of mine, are now up into qualifying 2. So we have a chance to fight for pole position. We were dominant in free practice, and I very much feel the same is going to occur here now. We just got to piece it all together. Let's see if we can get another 137 lap. We're using the soft front and the soft rear. I want to absolutely go for it. I don't want to be using any medium or hard tyres because I'm thinking I might save that for the race. But going into Rio for turn 4, hold it onto the right hand side, beginning to hold it and then chuck it into turn 5, line the motorcycle up to then chuck it to the left hand side, and we're already up to Raul Fernandez's time by 0.2 of a second. Now keep an eye on the left hand side of your screen there. Gardner, Grant, Di Gianantonio, Bobier, Vietti, Lowe's, all on very fast-paced lap times, and Remy Gardner inserted himself into pole position, time being with a 137.669. Sam Lowe's is not going to be deterred. He's up into the second sector. Grant is up by a whopping ton by going into the second sector as well. It's going to be a battle of Britain to try and take pole position here in Rimini, and Sam Lowe's is now the quickest in sector 3. He's absolutely loving this track, and I tell you what, we are too. This could be one heck of a battle between the British boys for this provisional pole position. Sam Lowe's has one more sector to navigate. Is this going to be enough to put him on the top? And it certainly is. Sam Lowe's at the top of the page with a 137.599. Grant is up by a 1/10.5, so he probably will be on provisional pole for about 20 seconds as Sam Lowe's. Let's see what Grant can produce here. Hard on the brakes now for the final corner for the aptly known one as Misano. And here Grant will come howling towards the Octo finish line. And across the finish line he will go. Oh, it's not enough. Grant is in 4th place. He didn't even manage to get on the front row. Has Sam Lowe's just taken my number and taken my name and beaten me up with it? That is impressive for Sam Lowe's, but can we fight back? Raul Fernandez is ahead of us, and if you cast your mind back to Assen, Raul Fernandez was one of the reasons we had to start far back in that one as well, because he got in the way as I started, as he entered or exited the pit lane, let's say. Now onto the left-hand side for turn 6, we are right behind Raul Fernandez, and we are right on cue for a provisional pole once again. Joe Roberts had it as well in the first sector, but lost it in the second, but we do follow Raul Fernandez for now. Can we get up at the inside into Quercia? We actually punt the rear of Raul Fernandez. That's not ideal, but alongside him, getting into Quercia, Raul Fernandez is really getting in the way now. We really need for him to move. The Red Bull KTM IO man is getting in the way, and he's messing up my lines, but we are up by half a second. Can we dive up at the inside of the Spaniard, or at least let him go past and utilise his slipstream? He went to the middle of the section there. I like to stay here on the left, so not ideal, but going into this next couple of sectors, this is going to be super tough to get through on Raul Fernandez. Do we just lunge? Do we just dive up in the inside, or do we have to take it steady? We're touching the apex there into turn 13, touching the rumble strip. Do we dive up at the inside now, going into 14? I couldn't even count. Not quite. We're getting really closer, but we're still up by almost 0.5 of a second, so I don't think this will deter us too much. Oh, super close to the apex there, but going into the final corner for Misano, this should be enough for Grant. We'll be able to use Fernandez's slipstream. This is going to be one heck of a lap. This could be a low 137. Across the line we'll go. It's a 137.205. And I tell you what, let's not end it there. Let's see what else we've got in the tank. What else is in the locker? Can Grant go any quicker? Can we get into the 136s? My lord, that would be one heck of a performance if we can manage that. Sam Lowe's personal best sector into the first one. Is he going to improve, or is he destined for second position behind the man who is definitely the quickest around Misano right now? Into the left-hand side we go for turn 6, down by 0.2 of a second. So it's a white sector for Grant, but we are still trailing behind Raul Fernandez. The Spaniard certainly hasn't got it away from us, because I don't think he can. But since we're going so quick, do we go around the outside, running it really wide into Quercia? I don't think this is going to materialise to anything particularly special from Grant. Down by half a second, I think that might be it. But that is absolutely fine and dandy for me. Taking pole position with a 137.205 is certainly nothing to scoff at. Sam Lowe's is setting some quick lap times now. He's on a personal best sector, but I don't know what sort of time scale we're looking at, what lap time he's about to put in. He's not that far ahead of us on track. You can actually see him a little bit further up the road there as we try and go around the outside of Raul Fernandez. It actually might not be Sam Lowes breaking into Caro, since, we do end up cutting the corner there and getting on the rumble strip. Not ideal, so this won't be an improvement, but we can be very, very confident knowing, in fact, Sam Lowes is giving it up. Sam Lowes is entering the pit, so unless Remy Gardner, Ben Schneider or Di Giannantonio can conjure something incredible up, I think that could be curtains. Grand job there for Grant. Pole position goes his way. The end of qualifying gives us a very determined Grant, who takes pole position just ahead of Sam Lowes and Remy Gardner. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tonight at 8 PM for the Grand Prix. But like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single Dot Race upload. Once again guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tonight. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dot Race video.